Morning. Welcome to the Lincoln County Board of Commissioners regular meeting this Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025. Uh, Start roll call. Commissioner Camilla. Present. Commissioner Hall.
Present.
Thank you.
Commissioner Chuck, just a point of order. You're chairing the meeting.
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you.
We do have a quorum, so we have recognition of proclamations. First, we have recognition of service. Joanne Gutierrez, are you here? Okay, I don't see her here, but we'd like to thank her for her 25 years of service in community justice. Thank you. We have recognition of new employees. Jaylene Cook, would you please come up and introduce our new employees? 14 of them.
Thank you, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Jaylene Cook. I'm the Assistant HR Director with Lincoln County. We have quite a few folks that are hired with the shelter that were able to attend because of their hours of work, so I'll introduce those. I do want to note that we did have a typo. We accidentally said one name twice since we left someone off. So we have Emily Brooks, Andrew Cuevas Nash, James Azell, Joseph Shipley, Samantha Valentine, and Nantane Woosley, that's the one we left off, who are lead winter shelter aides, part-time non-benefited with the Health and Human Services Department. The other individual that was unable to attend is Jeffrey Sticka, who's a transit driver with the Transit Department. And now I'll allow the other new hires to come up and introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Jenny Dietz. I'm a community health nurse at the 9th Street Clinic.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ashley Griffinstance, and I'm working with the animal shelter for the sheriff's office.
Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Christina Schembeck, and I'm the support specialist with the NIC.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm Evan Robbins, counselor with Adult Behavioral Health.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Bear. I'm a medical coder and biller.
Thank you.
My name is Yosef Yalbaso, and I'm an officer with community.
My name is Tim Flores, and I'm with the Community Resource Center and Shelter and Resource Navigator.
Welcome. She's going for the photo.
Yeah, I'll go. One more. All right, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Next we have Keith Barnes, Veteran Service Officer.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have I'm Keith Barnes, Lincoln County Veteran Service Officer, and I have my friend Larry Osborne here with me today. Larry was a U.S. Army veteran, or is a U.S. Army veteran from 1958 to 1965. He attended Portland State University and worked retail manager.
Oh, you push the button on your
I thought I
microphone.
did.
There you go.
Is it there?
No, push down.
Needs to be red. Larry, yours too.
The middle one was on for sure.
The middle one is on.
Lights up. You're good. Perfect.
Am I? There we go.
Yeah, it's better.
I'll use my radio voice today. He was a member of the Chamber of Commerce in Coos Bay, Eugene, and North Bend, City of Nevada, and now is our local volunteer coordinator for the Wreaths Across America. So I'm going to hand it off to to Larry.
Thank you, Dave. Good morning, Commissioners.
Again, my name is Larry Osborne. I just moved back to the coast after being gone for many years. When I moved back, I got involved with Reach Across America while I was in Nevada. And when I moved back up to the coast, I realized that while we had some cemeteries here in Oregon who participate, there were none on the coast. And so I contacted the Eureka Cemetery, which is the oldest cemetery, one of the oldest here in Macon County. And they jumped at the chance and said, yes, they'd like to participate, be a participating location. They are not a veterans cemetery, but they have over 900 veterans that are at rest up there in the cemetery. And so we started 2 years ago, and that was our first year, and we were able to raise support for 100 wreaths. And I believe we had 15 people show up from the community to help lay the wreaths. Last year, we got 240 wreaths supported, and we had about 50-some people show up. This year, we will have 300 wreaths to lay on veterans' grave sites at Eureka Cemetery. I'm sure you're familiar with Reach Across America. It is a national program. It started several years ago, started back east in Maine, and it has moved its way across the West Coast. Last year, there were over 3,000 cemeteries participating, including those here in Oregon, now including Eureka. This year, I know that they have added over 700 cemeteries across the country to the participating locations, so the program just continues to grow. I'm very pleased to show you a sample of what the wreath, and they're called a remembrance wreath. It's not a holiday wreath. It's not a memorial wreath. It is a remembrance wreath. It will be arriving next week at Eureka Cemetery. The folks, the 4-H group that does the Christmas trees and the wreaths over at the Lincoln County Fairgrounds, they made this one up for us and donated it so we had something to show what the wreaths are that are being sponsored this year. We're very pleased to accept this recognition, and we thank you very much for giving us this honor. And I'm going to thank Keith for his assistance in arranging this. And if I can answer any questions, I would be happy to.
Any questions for Larry?
Yes, yeah, thank you. So where do we call? How do we get the wreath? And another question too here, Larry, is how do they get placed next to the headstones? Do they come with some sort of attachment? Do you need to bring anything depending on maybe if it's your own family or?
The way the process works is the Oregon Coast Veterans Association, of which I am an officer, we are the sponsoring group. And we are the ones that we try and get the word out. We don't sponsor them ourselves individually as a group. We do, but we ask others to sponsor. And so we try and get the word out all year long, and we promote, and of course we start really kicking it off as we get into September and October. And anyone can sponsor a wreath. They go online and they can mail in a check. They can do it by credit card to Reach Across America, which is a national nonprofit organization. And wreaths are $17. And people sponsor the wreath, and then the wreaths will be shipped out just before they come from Maine. They are live balsa fir wreaths similar to this one. And those arrive, and then we place them on the veterans' gravesite up at Eureka. The logistics are interesting because it is not a veteran cemetery. So those 900 plus veterans are throughout the entire site. Some of us, myself and some of the members of the Oregon Coast Veterans, we go up a few days before the ceremony, which is Saturday, December the 13th at 10 o'clock in the morning. That's when the ceremony starts. Prior to that, we go up and we place a small American flag at the veterans' gravesite Otherwise, the people who come up would not know exactly. They'd have to go down row by row and look for that. So we go up ahead of time and place the flag on a veteran's headstone. The older section has the rising headstones, and so the wreath is laid on the headstone facing out with the bow up on top. If it is just a marker on the ground, then they place the wreath just below the marker on the veteran's gravesite. The part of this ceremony that really gets me is the fact that we ask the people, when they lay that wreath on that veteran's gravesite, they speak that veteran's name out loud. That is to assure that that veteran is remembered and is not forgotten. We invite this year, we will have the Newport Girl Scouts. They will be there, as they have the last couple of years, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Our guest speaker this year will be Luke Volbera from the National Guard, and he is our guest speaker. We close the ceremony with a retired Navy chief, bugler, who will be down to play taps to close the ceremony. And during that ceremony, then, is when we ask everyone to participate. Everyone that shows up, everyone is invited to come, and we have the wreaths laid out along the rows of where the graves are, and people just pick up a wreath and go and place it and lay it on the gravesite and speak their name, and then go down and come back around and pick up another wreath until we have all the wreaths placed. With over 900, we could not handle. We're going to set a limit of having the wreaths sponsored each year at around 300 to 400. And if we get enough people, that works out very well, because we just can't handle having 900 wreaths placed at one time. The logistics can't handle it up there. So we always hope for enough people to show up. Someone asked me, they say, well, how long does the ceremony take? I said, depends on how many people show up. If there are 50 to 75 people, it doesn't take very long to place the wreaths on the grave sites. If 10 people show up, we're going to be there for a little while. So that's why we invite everyone to show up. And that's why we appreciate, again, the proclamation to help get the word out to Lincoln County residents. That's pretty much how we do that.
Thank you.
Thank you,
And
Larry.
make sure you wear boots. Your toes will get wet.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Commissioner Hall, do you have anything, questions or comments for Larry?
No questions, just a comment that I applaud ACVA for taking on this very worthwhile project. We must always remember and honor and speak the names of those who were willing and in some cases did make the ultimate sacrifice for their country.
Thank you. Just want to thank you, Larry, for organizing this and spending the time, and hope we'll see you out there on the 13th. I'm looking forward to working with you all.
Thank you very much.
So at this time, I'll be,
Commissioner Chuck,
Yes.
just one more thing. Deadline to purchase the wreaths?
That deadline was the 28th of November.
Okay.
Now, people can still purchase wreaths and they will carry over to next year. So if someone today were to go online to Wreaths Across America,
Okay.
and they can find the location and they purchase a wreath at that time, it will be credited to Eureka for next year.
Okay.
It would not arrive in time because they have to start getting ready to ship those across the country.
Okay. And then volunteers just show up, reach
Yeah.
out to you first. Would that be helpful?
Yeah, they can just show up. We will have people up there. The cemetery staff will be there. The Oregon Coast Veterans Association will be there. We will help them find a place to park. We have plenty of parking along the roadway in there and everything, and they just are there. And then as we have our presentation and ceremony, we will direct them, okay, now everybody just go to there and start taking your wreaths and laying them down the rows.
Okay.
And so, yes.
Thanks for the clarification. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry. So at this time, I will read the matter before us. In the matter of proclaiming December 13th, 2025 Wreaths Across America Day in Lincoln County. Whereas Wreaths Across America is a national nonprofit organization founded in 2007 to remember our veterans at rest in cemeteries across the county and overseas, to honor those who serve today and to teach the next generation the value of freedom. And whereas last year, Wreaths Across America and its national network of volunteers laid over 3 million veterans remembrance wreaths at 4,224 participating locations in all 50 states across America, including ceremonies at Arlington National Ceremony, Pearl Harbor Memorial, Normandy, France, and at Oregon cemeteries throughout the state, including Willamette National Cemetery, Roseburg National Cemetery, and in 2023, for the first time in Lincoln County, at the Eureka Historical Cemetery in Newport. And whereas this year, the annual Wreaths Across America Day event will take place on Saturday, December 13th, 2025. And on that day, community members, volunteers, and veterans from throughout our city and county are invited to gather at Eureka Cemetery, 1101 Northeast Yucona Heights Drive at 10 a.m. to lay remembrance wreaths on the grave sites of our local veteran heroes and to speak each one's name out loud so they are not forgotten. Along with remembering those veterans that are laid to rest in Lincoln County, from Yachats to Otis and from the coast to the Eastern Valley. And whereas we are appreciative of our military veterans and their service, and of the volunteers, organizations, and businesses, including the Oregon Coast Veterans Association, Lincoln County Veterans Services, and the Eureka Cemetery and Mausoleum Association, we dedicate their time, energy, dedicate their time, energy, and resources to fulfilling Wreaths Across America's mission. Now, therefore, we, the County Commissioners of Lincoln County, Oregon, do hereby proclaim Saturday, December 13th, 2025 as Wreaths Across America Day in Lincoln County, and invite our residents and visitors to attend and support the wreath laying ceremony to honor our veterans.
Commissioners, I would like to present you with a Wreaths Across America pen if you need to sign the proclamation.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
I'll see that she gets it.
Okay.
Have pens available for all the people that show up to help lay the wreaths.
I move that we proclaim December 13th, 2025 Wreaths Across America Day in Lincoln County.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
And I'll second the motion. Yes, I'll second the motion.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very
Aye.
much. Motion passes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Mhm.
All right, at this time, we will go to adoption of consent calendar. Are there any items any commissioners wish to discuss on the calendar before we approve it?
Nothing for me.
Commissioner Hall?
Nothing for me. Nothing for me.
Thank you.
I move we adopt the consent calendar.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. Okay, next we have discussion information. Lincoln County fee schedule. I'd like to invite Brian Gardner, Assistant County Counsel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Brian Gardner, Assistant County Counsel for Lincoln County. So as you guys know, it's the most wonderful time of the year again, fee schedule time.
Yes, it is.
So we do this twice a year. A fee schedule becomes effective on July 1st usually and January 1st of each year. And so this is the proposed fee schedule that would be effective January 1st, 2026. This was the least requests I had received from departments this year. since I've been doing this anyway. So I just limit your guys' review and let you know, as you can tell from the proposed fee schedule. Just as always, there's highlights, strike-throughs, but the only highlights you'll find in this one are from pages 11 through 21, I believe. Yes, 11 through 21, which is Health and Human Services, the Public Health Division. And those changes were made basically to make it more clear, in effect, they were complying with the law, but the changes that they made, besides some increases, those changes were to make sure it was very clear that we were following the ORSs as they were changed, because it changed, at least for with regards to pools, the language changed a little bit in the ORSs. So we just changed ours to match and make sure it was very clear. With regards to the other changes, those are in the planning and development department, and specifically the building codes. And while we've been having those changes fairly frequently, because there've been like a 20-year gap where there weren't any increases, and John Rodriguez, who is our Lincoln County building official, has been he's worked really hard on trying to get ours up to speed. And so his process on this, like I send out reminders to the departments to do this, what I consider well in advance. He has to even start sooner to make sure he can get his proposed fee changes changed and correctly done, because he's required to send them and get approved by the state of Oregon Building Codes Division prior to them even coming before you guys. So it's kind of nice for me, because basically what my job is in this is to make sure they comply with the law. In this case, the state looks at these changes and does that initial consideration. And then I'm basically, for the building codes, I'm making sure nothing contradicts anything in our code or contradicts other parts of our fee schedule, things like that. So it's a lot more simple for me. But so back on October 30th, he presented those to the Oregon Building Codes Division and notified them that they would be up here for today and for adoption, possibly based on your guys' determination, on December 17th, and to become effective in January. So he has to provide those things to all the changes to the Oregon Building Code 45 days in advance of it even coming before the board. And he did all that, and they approved of the changes he had. So those are the changes between pages 15 and 21. And again, those are just, there was a couple of little language changes, but most of them were just moderate increases in the fees. And again, those fee increases are what allows him to get staff in order to address, to make sure that they can review and approve or disapprove, basically review building plans and stuff in a timely fashion. So procedure-wise, this is just, this won't come before you for a decision for 2 weeks, but it would come back before you for decision action on December 17th. At that time, what you would see is a final version, which would mean it would just be what we would eventually put on our website if approved. So it would not have the highlights or the strike-throughs. So what I usually do is I make sure that you have both versions for the next meeting, so you can see what the changes were. So unless you went through with a fine-tooth comb, you're not going to find them. You're going to have to match them up in order to see them. So you'd have this version that you have in today's packet as well as the final version. And the other question I would ask of you, if you would like as well, is if you would like to have either Colleen with Health and Human Services or John here to explain any of it. They are able to come, but because they were just normal fee increases. There's actually one or two fee decreases, but they were just normal changes. I didn't ask them to be here today.
Mr. Gardner.
Thank you, Brian. Commissioner Hall, do you have any questions or comments for Brian?
Not this time.
Commissioner Miller?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Chuck. Thank you, Mr. Gardner. I see that Mr. Rodriguez is here. I'd love for you to come up and give us an update since we have you.
Sorry, I didn't know you were here, John.
He might not have seen you.
I've been happy for you to do it.
Oh. Yeah, it's on.
It's right.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Rodriguez, Lincoln County Building Official. Yes, these are typically fees that will help, as Brian was saying, run our department, the Building Codes Division. So, and since I've been here, I've been trying to catch up on what was lacking for the Building Division for the past several years prior to me. And so I'm trying to make it to where we can be at the same level as our other divisions within the state that are comparable to our size of a building division. So, and it seemed like my first couple years, I had been increasing, and I'm sorry for the people to get that at this point, but in order for us to be effective for them, for their safety of their buildings and everything in here within Lincoln County, I needed to do that to keep the division running. Otherwise, if we can't do it, then the state takes over. And so it's even more, now it's getting more difficult for the state to handle such things. So for us to do increases, and I know it's not favorable right now at this time, but in order for us to make sure that like I said, again, for all the buildings to be safe and within Lincoln County, I needed to do that and trying to keep up with other divisions within the state and be comparable to them. So, and it is our contractors that are, or homeowners that get permits, they are paying for these. So basically we're doing the service for them. And that was what the Building Codes Division, Oregon State Building Codes Division, was seeking when they first started this program.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
John.
you. Any questions for Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, John, and it looks pretty uniform across everything. Now we're reviewing it. We'll bring it back for adoption. Is there a sense from you that we do any kind of proactive outreach about this? As people come in and discover the changes?
Yes, I let everybody ahead of time know. If we do have that, we have to let the community know 45 days prior. So, but ahead of that, I let the contractors know prior to that. I've been doing this for the past 6 months prior, trying to make sure that they're aware that it's going to be increasing. Like I said, it's for them. And so that's what I explained to them. The increases are for them to get timely plan reviews, timely inspections, to make sure that their projects are going smoothly. So,
John, looking ahead, do you foresee when we'll kind of get it to where you want to be? We'll keep working at this.
yeah, I mean, this one, it's been 2 years since I did my last increase. So I'm hoping to be comparable, where we can decrease permits if we get enough, permits generated. It's hard because it just depends on our economics, everything. So we've been fortunate this year that the building hasn't slowed up much compared to other counties, other cities within the state of Oregon, where they're cutting personnel and stuff. So I've been, my division's been fortunate here that, economy hasn't slowed. And because like during this winter time, it's usually real slow. It hasn't slowed up here, which we're very fortunate. And so, but who's to say what's going to happen, in the new year? So that's why, I just want to make sure that my employees aren't, we're not going to lose anybody. And so that's why these funds are, I had to increase to make sure of those slow times.
John, maybe thinking kind of the weekend warrior. If we're making changes at home, what's the best thing for us to do in terms of understanding our permitting needs? Reach out to the county in advance before we start on projects? Like, what are
Honestly,
your thoughts?
yes. Reaching out prior to you thinking about doing something. I always look at it because we're here to make sure that you're doing it correctly or a contractor's doing it correctly for you in a safe, quick way. We're not here to make the money. We're here to make sure that all jobs are safe and done correctly. And so that was when I came on here, that was my number one, was the life safety of the people of this community. And I'm still on that. And by having us, we are making sure that the contractors are providing you the quality workmanship and also the cost effectiveness on their work.
Thank you. Give Commissioner Hall any questions or comments?
Yes, Vice Chair Chuck. These all appear to be reasonable and necessary to me. From time to time, I hear from members of the public, not just about planning fees, but some of our other fees, with the theme of the message being, oh, this is just a backdoor way to increase taxes. No, in the time I've been in office, and I know this extends back before that, there's been an unwritten policy, but we followed it pretty closely, that fees at most reflect the actual cost of providing the service. And in many cases, such as restaurant inspections, they are partially subsidized from the general fund. So as I say, I'm totally good with these.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Hall. Any other comments?
No further comments, John, for me. So thank you for coming up. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you. You guys have a good day.
Okay.
Right. Brian or Commissioner Hall, Commissioner Miller, do you want to have HHS personnel in the next meeting to discuss their fees?
I think it's great if they can be here. It's always an advantage. So if that's possible, would be nice.
All right.
I'll let her know.
All right.
I
Thank you,
agree
Brian.
with that sentiment.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Next order of business, we have first reading of ordinance 541, amendments related to tobacco, smoke, and nicotine on county property. Council Yule,
Thank you, Commissioners. Would you like the full text or by title only?
by title only, if that's okay.
Title
Title only.
as well.
Thank you.
Commissioners, so this is the first reading, and this is before the Board of Commissioners for Lincoln County Ordinance 541. Amendments relating to tobacco, smoke, and nicotine on county property, amending Lincoln County Code, Chapter 7, and declaring an emergency. The county originally put a smoking ordinance in place many years ago. And if you go through Section 2, the parks were initially exempted. They did this out of kind of a recreational demand that people for smoking products, but as it's become increasingly aware of fire dangers, just to have any kind of like lighted nicotine products, it's a fire safety hazard. So this is a joint request from Parks and Public Health for obviously health reasons. So if you go through Section 2, the italicized areas are the ones that would get exempted and removed from the current ordinance. Any questions?
Any questions for council?
Yes, please, commissioners, we're doing an emergency declaration here on this one. Can you put that in context for us and why we need to declare an emergency on this one?
So just for fire safety reasons. So the parks are still open.
Okay,
So essentially, after the second reading, it would go immediately into effect.
okay.
Any further questions?
Yeah.
Commissioner Miller?
Commissioners, I see that Public Works Director Mike Dewan is here. Mike, could you come up and just a few questions for you as well?
I would actually have Parks Manager Kelly Perry come up. She was initially the one who requested.
Great. Yeah, Kelly too. That would be wonderful.
You don't have to come up, Sarah, if you don't want to. I completely understand.
Why not? Yes, please.
So just be aware, this is a legislative process, so we need to do this first reading. So this would all be considered testimony as part of this.
Okay.
Okay.
So this is really not typically this, they weren't on the agenda, so just be aware of that.
Okay.
Morning. Morning.
Morning.
Thanks, everyone.
Kelly?
Well, let me introduce myself
Yeah,
first.
please.
Perry, I work for the Lincoln County Parks. And I started with the county in 2022 and was surprised to see that this ordinance was here, but it said no smoking on any county properties but parks. And I was like, that's odd. And so we've been working with health services to kind of move this forward. And now it's in front of you guys to implement it. And so this is just basically encompassing county parks into what the county already has.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
Mr. Dewan, please introduce yourself.
Good morning. I'm Michael Dewan. I'm the Public Works Director, which does oversee the Parks Department. Candidly, I did not know this was on the agenda until yesterday, and I inquired with Kelly Perry about it, and she explained what it was. And admittedly, this is something I'd heard being discussed last year, and it kind of fell off my radar. But I was aware that the county had implemented this policy previously, and that for whatever reason, parks was excluded, and there was discussion about including parks at some point. So once she reminded me, okay, now I know what it is. Candidly, I'm comfortable with it. I've worked in county parks for about 13 years, and in my prior employment, we implemented policies as far as no smoking during fire season, et cetera, things that are similar. So if this brings it into compliance with the existing county policy, I have no objection to it.
Mm,
All right. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Next, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, I'm Sarah Hurd. I'm with Lincoln County Public Health. I'm our Health Promotion Program Manager. I've been working on tobacco prevention here in Lincoln County since the end of 2019. So this has been something that we have looked at in terms of policy recommendation for the health of Lincoln County residents. We've also talked with parks departments in other cities in Lincoln County, and we have support from Waldport and Newport and Lincoln City. This is something that county-wide, looking at the health of our citizens, but the health of our environment as well. Certainly looking at the fire risk, we want to reduce risk for people in all areas. So we, of course, are very supportive of this amendment.
All right, thank you. Any comments, questions?
Yes, no, please. I'm Sarah. So for those who might be used to this type of recreating, public health, what tips can you give them for, lifestyle change?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I should have
So
brought.
I'm just going to
say
stop
some-
right here because
Okay.
this is kind of beyond what
Yeah.
this process is for.
Okay.
So this is just an ordinance amendment change. This isn't a discussion item for
Okay.
smoke. We need to be really careful with this process because it is a proposed ordinance change.
Okay, so we'll just take this as testimony for now, and then we'll have the second reading at the next meeting. Thank you three for coming up.
Thank you.
Okay.
What second reading will be when, council?
The second reading is I think it's December 17th,
Thank
2025.
you. Okay.
Public testimony on that.
Public input.
Public input will be taken at the next hearing.
Next hearing?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, sign up for public input.
Did you sign up?
On a agenda item that
It's not a
you
public
bring?
hearing.
It's not a public hearing on, it's a first reading of the ordinance. Thank you. This time we will go to public comment online.
Oh, wait, hold on there. A
No.
point of order, Commissioner Chuck. Back on discussion.
We have taken everything that is on the agenda right now, so we will be moving on to public comment.
So I don't
Oh,
yield the floor.
Point of
yet,
order, it's not on
Commissioner Chuck.
it is not on the count, it is not on the agenda.
I
We
haven't
do have a
even
legal,
said
it
anything
was
yet.
not,
Commissioner Chuck, I haven't even spoken yet.
no. We're going to go to public comment. We don't have to have any more comments from the public. Thank you.
So council, you
No, Commissioner Miller, I'm running the meeting. Thank you.
a question for.
We have an
legal
online
counsel.
comment.
Yeah.
Online comment.
And I signed up.
Who do we have online for comments that signed up?
I'm here.
Right. We're going to adjourn for 5 minutes.
Figure out what the rules are. I signed up.
So what are we doing right now?
I don't. I need.
We're adjourned for 5 minutes.
Wow.
We're adjourned. Are we back in session?
Back in session. Debbie Kozar due public comment. You have 3 minutes, Debbie. Thank you.
Good morning. On June 4th, 2025, Christian Hutchins, who wrote the recall, and others wearing Hilltop Patriot logos began to show up at the BOC meetings. They were acting out attacks on Commissioner Claire Hall. A group of us heard of it and started attending June 18th. I had seen Trump's attacks on the transgender community, which infuriated me. I'll be damned if I'm going to sit by and let the same attacks occur in our Blue County without any defense. We witnessed their attacks on her character, her image, her management of the BOC meetings. Unknowingly, we were watching them build their recall case. The recall petition, which is all misinformation, was filed 6 months to the day Hall was sworn in. There is a MAGA Project 2025 agenda across our nation, and one of the strategies is to do everything they can to flip state governments, starting at flipping the blue counties of each state. Here we are fighting a recall whose efforts are just that, to flip this county red. We have witnessed these last 6 months Commissioner Hall running the meetings by the book, following the rules. It's a real circus with all the opposition's fabricated drama. The disruptors often become outraged when their 3 minutes to speak are up. The homophobes have come in with their sickness, and Commissioner Claire is very patient, listening to every word. I wanted to scream at them, "Shut up," but Claire is respectful of their 3 minutes of free speech. Some politically liberal types have been manipulated into believing things about Commissioner Hall that are not true. Strategic scare tactics have been used by Commissioner Miller and others to get folks on board the takedown of Claire Hall. This includes providing misinformation about environmental issues, First Amendment issues, and allegations of the most egregious kind. In my opinion, the ultimate tragedy will be that progressive liberals folks are having a hand in the final takedown, giving a win to the Lincoln County GOP, who has been endeavoring to paint the county red for decades, but never quite pulled it off. The recall has gotten the 4,000 required signatures, but that is not enough to carry an election. We are Americans who believe in due process, which we have seen violated by the White House. Claire won a fair election. This coming election will cost us $40,000 that we desperately need elsewhere. Claire is not perfect, but she's done a damn good job. Please, my Blue County, come together, join and show up to vote no to Claire recall. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. Next, we have Larry Osborne. One here, the person that we had signed up online, Barbara Davis, is she online? Ms. Davis?
Yes, may I speak?
Yes,
Okay. Rather than the steady stream of misinformation that is being spewed on the sewer of social media, and here at the Board of Commissioners meeting now, I offer verifiable facts. Fact, an external investigation of Commissioner Miller concluded on January 22nd that Commissioner Miller did not engage in bullying or disrespectful behavior towards county employees. In fact, on that same day, he issued a public apology, though County Council denies that fact. Fact, Commissioner Miller, elected by the people of Lincoln County, is still barred from using his office in the county building. When asked for a legal rationale for this restriction, Council Yule claimed, quote, nobody wants to work with him, unquote. Fact, I've been told by more than one county employee that that is an inaccurate statement, that many county employees do in fact like working with Commissioner Miller. Fact, I've asked and been told there is no law, no Oregon statute that authorizes a county commissioner to be barred from occupying his office. So Lincoln County is making history in a bad way. Fact, the annual cost of Lincoln County taxpayers for the unnecessary, unused off-site office for Commissioner Miller is $3,900. Interesting fact, my property tax bill this year was $3,900. Fact, Commissioner Miller has completed 32 hours of basic mediation training through Portland Community College. This training was done on Commissioner Miller's own volition. This was not directed or recommended by County Council Yule or HR Director David Collier. I would like to know if the other two commissioners, County Council Yule or David Collier, have also completed that training. Fact, at a recent Board of Commissioners meeting, Five Rivers resident Carol Van Strom offered a petition signed by 50 residents of the Five Rivers area to request a stop to roadside spraying of pesticide that was killing her trees and contaminating her water. I had hoped that I would see this issue on the agenda for discussion at the next meeting, but another fact, since July 2024, Commissioner Miller has submitted more than 35 agenda requests, one of which was a request to discuss the agenda setting process itself. And now he's being silenced again right here at a meeting. Another fact, Commissioner Miller's agenda requests have yet to be put on any agenda. So once again, these facts matter. Thank you.
Thank you. It's the end of public comment. The meeting's adjourned. Thank you for coming.